All right, this is the next step in the Radial design color wheel. You do need to have completed your plan, and your plan was either done in your sketchbook or it was on this worksheet. Now, there were two different approaches we talked about. One approach had the same slice in all the spaces, and another approach had like an overall design that you divided into 12 slices. So either one of those is fine. I'm going to show you again two different ways to get this set up for your final project. If you are painting and in class, you are going to be using this poster board. And this poster board is already cut to be 12 inches by 12 inches. You might want to double check to make sure that is accurate before moving on. But if you are in class, I'm going to go over that first. If you are at home, you can probably skip over this part and look at what I do to set it up in the sketchbook. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to really quickly measure to make sure this is 12 inches by 12 inches because your final color wheel is also going to be 5 inches by 5 inches. Now, I think the easiest way to go about this is to draw a diagonal line from one corner to another. In order to do that, you'll need a pretty long ruler. So I'm going to go get a different ruler and be right back. All right, so I have a longer ruler. It depends on whether you want this to be very precise or not, as far as how exact you are going to be with this next part. So if you are going to do a color wheel and it has 12 exactly the same slices, then you're going to pay attention more to your measurements. All right, so I'm going to draw a line from corner to corner, and I'm going to do this really lightly. On the paper for you in this demonstration, I'm using a darker pencil, but I would recommend doing it very lightly. All right, so now here's the thing. This is going to be a color wheel with 12 different spaces. So in order to make this equal, I guess, I could use a protractor. So if you have a protractor, you're going to measure 30-degree angles. But I don't have a protractor. What I am going to do is I'm going to divide this line into 3 equal lines or spaces. So every 4 inches, I made a mark. And I'm going to do that on this side too, every 4 inches. All right, now I can take one of the measurements, go through the middle and to the other side. One of the measurements through the middle, to the other side. And then I'm going to do that over here too. All right, so I have 12 about equal. It's not perfect. Like I said, if you want to get more exact with that, you can use a protractor. So now what I'm going to do is, well, number one, I could draw an overall image, and I already have my 12 slices. Or number two, I can actually make it into a circle or a wheel. So if I'm going to do that approach where I make it into a circle or a wheel, I am going to take my ruler and I'm going to measure 6 inches from the center. And I am making a mark, and I'm going to just move and mark, move and mark. So if we had a 12-inch circle like tracer, that would be awesome. We don't. We're going to just kind of do the best we can with the tools we have. So I'm making a lot of marks because the more marks I make that are 6 inches, the easier it's going to be for me. to connect those marks. So I'm just pivoting on the center here. I'm kind of making sure that my ruler is at the 6-inch mark. And this is going to give me a pretty good circle. All right, I'm about back at the beginning. Just kind of always making sure I'm making that mark at these 6 inches. So now I have a trail of dots all around, and I am going to just lightly connect them to make my circle color wheel. So this is a 12-inch diameter color wheel. That means the radius is 6 inches, and that's why I was using that 6-inch mark. You might have a better way to make a circle. Go ahead and use it. We're all about just kind of using the best tool for the job. So there is my color wheel. So if every slice is going to be exactly the same, then I am going to use this design right here, and I am going to copy into each one of those spaces. So before I start copying, one thing I want to do is I want to make sure I have 12 different spaces to paint inside of. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't. So I'm going to all right. Now let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right. I think I'm good. So like I said, I'm going to copy this 12 times. This is where I can use tracing paper. So if I'm going to use tracing paper to do this, I am going to use my ebony pencil. I'm going to transfer my own design right from my worksheet onto the tracing paper. And I have to decide if I want this to be a mirror image or if I want it to be exactly the way that I have designed it. So I'm using a very soft pencil. I'm trying to just trace the lines that I already have. All right, so there I have it. I can put this aside. And now I am going to fit this into each one of those slices. I see the slices that I've drawn are a little off, so I might be making adjustments as I go along. So in order to get my lines copied onto my paper, I have to have graphite on the back side of this. So there's graphite on the front, there is not graphite on the back. So I'm going to take this and just really quickly go over. So I am copying my own design. It's going to be 12 different times. And it's going to be exactly the same in each one of the slices. Okay, I'm doing this with the ebony pencil. That will make it so I can see the line. It'll be light, but I will see it transfer. I have made a 12-inch color wheel. All right, so now at this point I have pencil or graphite on the front and the back. So I can put this right into the slice, whichever slice I want to start, and I'm going to trace exactly on top of that line. And when I do, it's going to transfer the graphite underneath. Looks like it's a little hard to see that line. There it is. So I'm going to go over all of the lines to transfer them into that spot. Now, if I don't go exactly on top of the line, then it's not going to transfer. So I put graphite or pencil on the back of the tracing paper, and on the front, I can check that didn't work real good. I'm going to put it back and trace over it. All right. So that's very, very lightly drawn. That's fine. Here's my choice. I can either just slide it over into the next spot and trace it again, or I can do a mirror image. If I do a mirror image, I'm going to get a different design than if it's all the same. But again, that is up to you. So I trace over all the lines. They should transfer. All right, again, they're very light. And I'm noticing that the line that I drew for the slice is not right in the correct spot. So I'm actually going to just redraw it here so that it is more accurate. All right, I'm going to move on. So this one, I'm doing this flip method. There is going to be the next slice. And then I'm going to keep going around. If it's the same one, I just keep drawing it without flipping it. So that is how to get started on your design with the color wheel. If you don't want to use this method of the slices, what you're going to do is when you get your poster board, you are going to draw your concept, which is the one big image that you're going to divide down into 12 separate slices. So let's say mine is all about flowers. I'm going to draw my concept. Of course, I already had a plan, so I'm using the plan. Then I'm going to do that same thing where I divide. I'm going to find. All right, and now I need to divide this into thirds, 3 equal. If you're doing equal, you might not be doing equal. So the slices are up to you. If you want them to be exact, I recommend getting a protractor and measuring it. So the other option is to do this in your sketchbook. So the next video is going to show you how to work through that.